the Q Group standing and waiting. And the significant development that is about to unfold is the handing over of vehicles which has been procured through a public-private partnership between the Q Group and the Gambia government. His Excellency President Albaro has just arrived, and he has greeted the Vice President, followed by Lord Mayor of Banjul, and in an exchange. And then in this delegation we have Ahmad Ba, who is the Minister of Lands, followed by Nawek Bani Juara, and the Minister of Petroleum, Minister of Tourism, Yankoba Diba, CEO of OIC, followed by the Chairman of the Q Group and the Special Advisor of His Excellency the President, Mamadou Sabali, and Lamin K. Seidi, Deputy Youth Advisor. Here is a historic moment that is set to unfold another successful story of a public-private partnership, and the Q Group has proven beyond reasonable doubt, and it has delivered 89 vehicles as part of Gambia's preparations for the hosting of the OIC. His Excellency the President is moving towards the vehicles that have been put in front as part of the exhibition of the types of vehicles that have been procured, many of which are luxurious cars. Of course, these vehicles you're seeing will be carrying heads of states and government delegations. Of course, the Gambia is set to host the 15th OIC summit in the country, where 57 countries are expected to take part. Of course, heads of states would arrive, and this is another milestone in a public-private partnership. And very soon the keys will be handed over to His Excellency the President, marking the official handing over of 89 vehicles that have been procured in a public-private partnership between the Gambia government and the Q Group, delivered through Quantum Net Espace Motors. Of course, we are aware that this whole process started with a public tender where almost 6 to 7 companies took part and successfully awarded to Espace Motors. And this is one of the several occasions when the Q Group has delivered beyond reasonable doubt, of course, within a short period of time. And the chairman of the Q Group, a history is about to unfold. The chairman of the Q Group is now officially handing over the 89 vehicles that have been procured in a pre-finance arrangement, public-private partnership between the Q Group and the Gambia government. His Excellency Adama Barrow has received the keys and now delivered to the CEO of the OIC Secretariat in the Gambia, who is, of course, leading in that technical effort towards Gambia's successful hosting of the OIC. The Vice President, they've all joined hands to receive the vehicles, of course, the Vice President and the Lord Mayor of Banjul. Such a historic occasion we have just witnessed, and His Excellency the President is taking a tour in order to now inspect the vehicles. I assume he will enter one and see, in real time, the texture, the feeling of such a highly luxurious vehicles, including SUV, Mercedes-Benz, Parados. So essentially, these are the vehicles that will carry heads of states and government delegations. And the fleet of vehicles that we have seen here, in total 89 vehicles, some of which Vvip. Of course, there is VIP vehicles of different types. And the chairman of the Q Group is now briefing His Excellency the President as he inspects the vehicles. And that is one of the samples of the several luxurious vehicles that have been procured in this arrangement.
was a very nice conversation.
Go ahead within a month.
Sorry.
Within a month, we were able to gather, and these vehicles came from different sources. Because you had to go and get vehicles ex-stock. You cannot wait for production. We had only 1 month window. So we had to get them from different countries and gather them in Belgium, and to catch the Ro-Ro ship to Dakar. And the Ro-Ro was supposed to leave on the 19th of March, and that's why, we're able to get them. So with the help, I must say, President, with the intervention of VP, yes, I spoke to him that, look, we had 4 days to make a decision so that we'll catch the boat, and he made the bold decision, and then we went ahead. So we were able to catch the ship and delivered, and then everything came on time, definitely. So what I want to just say is just to thank you, Your Excellency, because this type of summits are once in a lifetime. Maybe we might not have another one in our lifetime. So we are very grateful that during your tenure, we are able to have an international summit, world-class summit, having all these heads of states and countries coming to our country. So I believe that for us at the Q Group, we saw this, that we need to contribute to the success of the summit. When we were called to the tender, through GPPA, we tendered like everybody else. But when they said pre-financing, we knew that as Gambian company, we had to do something. So we pre-financed the whole project, and we got the vehicles on time, because we feel that it's the small contribution we should do to the country and for the OIC. So, but then everything goes back to His Excellency and the government of the Gambia, and I think that we will have a successful summit. But we must really thank you, Your Excellency, for bringing the summit to Gambia. This is the first time government is tendering almost 100 vehicles. This is the biggest tender government has ever done, and it was able to meet the deadlines and follow GPPA procedure. Yeah, so thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Muhammed, we also have to thank you, for your loyalty to this country. I've always been telling the people, others cannot develop this country. It's we the Gambian people who can develop this country. And we have to be united. We have to come together. Have the same aims and objectives, same direction, to help us succeed. And we are all racing against time. 2 things were important. Without them, no ice. Accommodation. No accommodation, no ice. No vehicles, no ice. So these were very, very important, fundamental. And we were able to succeed in getting all these things in place. I think that's the most important thing. As you said, these are summits that can be a lifetime for a small country. So it's a big opportunity for all of us. And we are going to host for the next 3 years. I think for the next 3 years, Gambia will be the headline for very good reasons. It will be very positive going forward. So we want everybody to be united so that we support each other to make sure we cheer for 3 years and not cheering alone, so that it will be a good legacy for all of us. And yourself, the government, President, we are all part of this. This is history for us. And we will have these records. One day, our children will talk about it. So it's a big achievement. Congratulations. And we thank the Vice President. He was the one cheering. I was just the ceremonial head. But he was the one definitely on the ground with clear instruction that the priority today is wise. We told Finance Minister, no negotiation about this. We make so, we implement. And the CEO was under serious press. Whenever he comes to my office, he's always under press. But I was happy the last time he came to my office. I told him, now, what issues do you have? He said, I have no issue.
Oh, that's good.
I said, then if I go to bed, I'll sleep. If you have no issues now, because every day you come with issues. Today, no issue, I'm very happy. So now, we are sure that we are going to host you guys. No doubt about that.
No doubt.
Congratulations in advance. See you. Thank you. And the entire cabinet, and the board. The board, we are there, every week, almost, every weekend. They always focus on this, to make sure we host a very successful summit. And we are very, very hopeful that we will host a very successful one. Thank you.
Just to add up to what you said, President, communication is a very important component of the OIC. People are very much data hungry. So because of that, the QCell has also put in place, expanded our 5G network, which you launched at the OIC conference hall a few months ago. We have expanded our network to the extent where when delegates arrive from the Vvip to State House is fully 5G.
Okay.
It's fully 5G. Yeah, so they can connect to very high.
Yes.
You have actually
Good. Come this. So that the cameras will move.
I must say thank you very much for the exemplary leadership. You've always been there for us, and as you rightly said, there were issues, and that's natural. Organizing such a colossal meeting is no mean feat. We draw our strength from all the government agencies, and especially our board, under your leadership. We had no doubt that we will. I kept telling you in our private discussion, HE will make you proud, will make Gambia proud. And I believe the summit is already a success. I would like to register our very sincere thanks to Mr. Jah. He has not only assisted us, even airtime, he's supporting the secretariat, everything. Whatever we do, he will give us live coverage, he will give us all the coverage that we need. In fact, he has just recently given us 1,000 SIM cards for our delegates. We are very grateful for that. Thank you very much, Excellency. Thank you, Vice President, and all the cabinet ministers for the support that today we are able to say we are all proud of as Gambians. You keep telling us one thing. We are small, but we can prove that small nations can do big things. And I think today there is nobody in this world who can doubt that. Thank you for your leadership.
You are the chairman.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for the opportunity. But I think you have said you are ceremonial, but definitely you are not a ceremonial. You are the one pulling the string. Wherever we had difficulties, you made sure that you resolved that. So we really thank you. And again, just to thank all the other cabinet ministers and the CEO, because we have been putting a lot of pressure on him. We have had so many tough meetings, but we are glad that a thing is now in place with your leadership. Like I think we have proved the doubters wrong. All right, many people thought that this cannot be done, but we have now shown that it can be done from our own resources. Again, I think that's something that has to be clear. Many people thought that it's the OIC that is giving us funds. No, it's the government through his leadership, the president, that directed the Minister of Finance to provide us with the resources. I think the CEO has mentioned it. More than 500 million has been spent on this, but we are all seeing the benefits with the hotels that are coming. It is not only enable us to host this OIC, but we can host other meetings, AU meetings and other meetings. So I think really, Your Excellency, we need to thank you very much and thank everybody who has been part of this. Thank you.
Yeah, just want to say congratulations to the President and congratulations to the Secretariat and all those who contributed towards the success of this summit. We are grateful. As local government, we are also partner in development, and we are doing the little we can in our own ways by going out cleaning the city, sensitizing the masses, telling them that we are only hosting, but we are not the organizers. I think this is very, very important for our people to know about it, and this is exactly what we are doing, and we are grateful that from Banjul to KMC to West Coast to Basse, every local government is active to make sure that we also add our value to make it a success. I am not the president of the local government, of the organization of the local government, but I can tell you for sure that the president also is trying his best, Muhammed, to make sure that we all are active towards the success of this organization. I thank you all.
Okay.
Arrange for
Delegates mic. Torop. We have just witnessed the handing over of the 89 vehicles to His Excellency President Adam Barrow in a very historic occasion in a public-private partnership which is now a success, which will go down in the annals of the history of this country, that the Gambia, a small country, one of the few in Africa to have successfully hosted the OIC summit. But of course, government pulled out resources, mobilized resources, and worked with the private sector. Of course, Gambian businesses to ensure that at least this comes to a fruition. And a success has been registered in a very short period of time, where the QGroup, Gambia government partnered with the QGroup to deliver 89 vehicles. Of course, these vehicles will carry heads of states and government delegations. The ones we're seeing exhibited in front represent the samples of vehicles that have been procured in this public-private partnership, including Mercedes-Benz, SUVs, of course, some of them Vvip and Vvip, of course, which would mark as an important highlight in Gambia's hosting of the OIC summit. The President is taking, for the opportunity there, standing in front of one of the Vvip vehicles bearing the Gambian flag, and of course symbolizing a success in this public-private partnership. The Vice President has joined, followed by the Chief Executive Officer of the OIC Gambia Secretariat. It's an exciting moment for government. The Foreign Affairs Minister has joined the queue for this photo opportunity in this highly significant ceremony, where we have just witnessed the handing over of keys to His Excellency the President as part of the official handing over of the vehicles. But Mayor has joined, the Minister of Tourism, Minister of Petroleum, the Chief of Staff, the State House, the Minister of Defense, the Chairman of the QGroup, all in this group photo as part of the highlights of this important occasion, marking the handing over of official vehicles to His Excellency the President, as the Gambia government is set to host the 15th OIC summit in the Gambia, which is just right in the corner. More government officials have joined this group photo. Cameras are set, and that's it for the opportunity taken. Viewers, you are watching us live at the Makati Square in Banjul, where we have just witnessed the handing over of vehicles to His Excellency the President by the chairman of the QGroup, now introducing the ESPAS team, the general manager of Quantum, Mr. Oskebe, with his team of technicians who have joined in this historic occasion, marking a success in this public-private partnership. Since the dawn of the Barrow administration, we have witnessed several interventions, public-private partnership, in public-private partnership deals between government and the QGroup. One of which, of course, the KMC trucks, Malit project, which pre-financed, of course, the GTSC buses, pre-financed, and once again, another history has just unfolded right now. Of course, I've been speaking to some officials. This, of course, has been confirmed to be the largest procurement of vehicles within a very short period of time by government in a public-private partnership. Almost 100 vehicles, some of which Vvip and VIP, which will carry the heads of states and government delegations as they arrive in the country, in the smiling coast of Africa, for the big moment, the historic occasion marking the 15th OIC summit in the Gambia. Gambia now under the spotlight. And we have just received the signals that we are ready in all facets. And it is only a moment of time before the big day happens. But of course, this week would be a very busy one. Today, the senior officials meeting will begin, which will, of course, be followed by the conference of foreign ministers, which will take 2 days. Senior officials meeting 2 days, followed by the conference of foreign ministers, and finally 4th to 5th of May, conference of heads of states marking the 15th OIC summit. And that's it. We have just witnessed a very historic occasion in a public-private partnership, another successful development having been delivered by the chairman of the QGroup to His Excellency the President. We are watching us live at the Makati Square, where we have just witnessed the completion of a handing over ceremony to His Excellency the President for the hosting of the OIC summit in the country. Now the President is departing Makati Square to return to the State House after the completion of the handing over ceremony. Mbokk yi yéen ñu ñoo seetaane fii si Makati Square in Banjul. luñ fekkee nii rek mooy ne chairman yi QGroup bi joxe na lu mat si juróom-ñetti fukk ak juróom-ñeenti moto jox na ko président bi. Lii nag dafa nekk arrangement boo xam ne contract la woon boo xam ne dañ jaar si yoon ñu bari ñu open tender am lu àgga si 6 to 7 companies yoo xam ne apply woon nañ QGroup win ko through espace si pre-finance arrangement mu nekk loo xam ne QGroup dañoo génne seen xaalis jënd moto yi nii pour contribute si Gambia lu moo waajal xew-xew bu mag boobu noonu ñu ooyee OIC 15th OIC summit si Gambia bi nga xam ne njiiti réew yu bari fii la ñoo teew ànd ak seen delegation pour ñu mën koo host so event bu em noonu lu rëy la si histoire Gambia léegi nag ñu ngi ñëw now here he is the chairman of the QGroup who is set to take an interview with QTV, of course. It's a highly significant moment of success, once again celebrated by not only the QGroup, but the Gambia government on behalf of the Gambian people. Now flanked by his management team, the chairman of the QGroup is ready to take an interview from journalists live at the Makati Square in Banjul.
You'll hold.
I said.
Hello.
Thank you very much. Now we are speaking to the chairman of the QGroup. We've just witnessed a highly significant moment of success in a public-private partnership, once again delivered by the QGroup. How important is this occasion for you within a very short period of time to have delivered the largest procurement of vehicle by government in a public-private partnership?
Thank you very much, Mr. Choi. I think everybody in the country now is aware of the OIC summit. Even the 1-year-old one, they are all aware that we have a very important summit. And this summit, for the past few years, government has been trying to work towards achieving a successful summit. We know that for a summit to be successful, you have major components, to have major components done. One is the road infrastructure, which you have seen government has done a lot on it. We have the Batin Harin Highway, and it's beautiful, and also the other 22 OIC roads, which will create a lot of now bypasses, and connectivity for the ordinary citizens. Also, the other important component was housing the delegates, and I think we have to praise the Ministry of Tourism, because over the years also they have been improving the standards of our hotels and also our apartments and accommodation section. So for that reason, a lot of people were saying that we will not have enough space to accommodate delegates, but I think the government has confirmed that every delegate will have a room to stay, and a very good room for that matter. Now, the third component is also connectivity. That's data. Now telecommunication is one of the most important, especially in summit like this. If you don't have good data outputs, good telephone network, good internet network, you can say that half of the summit will not move. And that also, at the QGroup level, we anticipated that. And as you know, last year, the president inaugurated the first 5G network deployed by QCell in the country. And today I just reconfirmed to the president that from the Vvip at the airport to Banjul, we have expanded our 5G network to cover all these areas so that we can take care of the connectivity, data requirements of the delegates coming. Remember, we have over 3,000 delegates coming to this summit, and they are all data hungry. They are all going to use internet for their work and also for their communication. Now, the fourth component, which is very important, is vehicles. Of course, we always say that if you have a beautiful vehicle from the airport, you put a head of state in a beautiful vehicle, you've got half of the summit successful. And the QGroup also participated in this. As you know, there was a tender, which was floated about 2 months ago in the end of February, and different bidders bidded, and we were fortunate to be the most successful bidder. But what is important about this particular tender was that we know also the amount of money government needs at this time to organize a successful summit. So they requested that the procurement of these vehicles be done through pre-financing. And as you know, the QGroup also have a bank, Ajib Bank. So we engaged our financiers, and within a very short time we had approvals to be able to pre-finance all these vehicles. And today I can happily say that all the vehicles arrive on time, and we've paid all the suppliers, and we're happy that we are able to hand them over today. So for us at the QGroup, as you know, Mr. Choi, we are very much interested in the development of this country. I say we are Gambians, and yes, if we want Gambia to move, we have to work together. We have to participate. We cannot just leave it to the government of the Gambia. We have to participate, and this is the small way QGroup is participating. We participated in the provision of good network, mobile network coverage, but most importantly also being able to bring in these vehicles for the OIC. And the QGroup will continue to be participating in development projects. This is development for our country. I believe that even after the summit, the people of the Gambia will see the impact. I think the first impact is we're expecting that we're going to have more tourists, because more people are going to know about Gambia. So we are going to have more visitors and more tourists, and we all know what that impact does to the country. The visibility alone that 57 countries, heads of states and ministers are coming to small Gambia. And remember, this is the second an African country is hosting this. We are the second African country hosting this big event. So it's not a small event. So I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of the QGroup to thank His Excellency, the President, and his team, the cabinet ministers, and the head of the OIC, the CEO, Mr. Diba, and his team, for being able to bring this conference to Gambia. Really, this is once in a lifetime. Maybe some of us might not be able to, have an opportunity to witness it again, because it rotates from one country to the other. We have 57 countries in the OIC. So we want to thank them for having the vision. This is a vision to pull this particular conference summit to the Gambia. So I would like to thank all of them, and like to thank also the members of the executive, the committee, who were really the OIC committee trying to make this thing come together. We are very, very happy, and I hope that we would have a successful summit, just like what the President just said now. He said now we have everything in place. What we want is to pray to God, the Almighty, to have everybody to come into the Gambia peacefully, and go back to his home peacefully. I think that's the only prayer now we need. So I would also call on all the Gambians to, really appraise, and celebrate this milestone for Gambia. This is not a small milestone. This is a very significant milestone. So I would like to thank everybody, and also to thank all the media houses, really, because we've seen that for the past 2 months, whether online or offline, the television stations, the radio stations, you would not listen to any one of them for an hour without hearing the OIC. So I think we have been contributing, all of us, especially the television stations. Namely, we have Star, who is a very good partner, to us and to the Gambia government. We have Paradise, we have the iAfrica, of course, the GRTS, is the government television. We have all come together this time to be able to, give a successful summit. So we are collaborating, in the and we are all in it. So I want to tell the Gambian people that all the media houses in this country have come together, working with the government media houses to make this OIC a success. But I will particularly like to thank my brother, Mr. Alpha, Carriol, for the the owner of Star TV. He has always been accompanying us, together. We are partners. So this is just showing that there is no competition between the different broadcasters. We are one. Our interest is to show the positive image of Gambia. And I think for the next 1 week, 2 weeks, I will also plead to all, the journalists and everybody to bring out the positive image of Gambia. This is our time. We are going to have a lot of people coming from outside, and they will be listening to our TV stations. They will be reading our newspapers. So let us concentrate this time. I know we have issues, but let us concentrate this time, the next 1 week, 2 weeks, on the positive things Gambians have. We are very hospitable. So really, Mr. Choi, I'm very happy.
Chairman, finally, of course, you've given a very detailed rundown when it comes to government's intervention and the Q Group's involvement in the success story of the procurement of the country's largest single procurement of vehicles. But it is a moment of pride for Gambian businesses, having delivered this for a very short period of time. Of course, through due process, public bidding was open, and the Q Group participated in the tender, and of course the most successful and delivered within a very short period of time. This is something that is worth highlighting. How important is this is this moment, and what does it tell when it comes to Gambia government support for Gambian businesses?
Well, as you know, the Gambia government is law abiding, and I was happy that the tender, the procurement of these vehicles went through due process, through a tender which GPPA supervised. And as you rightly said, I believe we had about 7 companies which tendered. And but then the cruciality was that, one, you have to deliver within a month all these vehicles, and these vehicles are not low-end vehicles; they are high-end vehicles. You cannot. Production of a vehicle takes, and shipment takes, a minimum between 3 months to 6 months. So you cannot wait for production. You only have 1 month to deliver. So you have to be able to buy this vehicle, what they call X-stock, So that was one cruciality, and which was considered by all the bidders. The second thing, which was also very important, was the pre-financing, because government was very clear that they don't have the funds right now because of the lot of activities happening around the OIC. They don't have the funds, to be able to procure this now. So any bidder who wants to go ahead with it has to be able to pre-finance it. We now saw it as a country thing, really. It was not about cost, it was not about anything, but about the success of the OIC. And we knew that without these vehicles, the OIC success will be very challenging. So as a group, we sat together and discussed, and we agreed that whatever it takes, we are going to make sure that, one, we are going to pre-finance the whole procurement, and then we are going to bring them on time. I can tell you, Mr. Choi, it was tough. It was tough because there was no one dealer in the world who had this amount of vehicles in stock. So we had to get these vehicles from different dealers, bring them together in Belgium, and then ship them to Dakar, and then brought the vehicles to Gambia. This is what it took. But I am just happy to say that the Q Group again, we work under pressure. We like working under pressure. We were able to pull this one again. But I will say that we couldn't do it without, all of us being in it. I can tell you, it's not only Muhammed. we came together as a team. We started this together, and now we've delivered together. You can see the team, here, all the team. So I want to take the opportunity also to thank the general manager of Espas Motors, Mr. Kebe, because he has been on this almost 24 hours. He was in Dakar, he cleared the vehicles, he was with them throughout to Gambia. I want to thank him and to thank his team and to thank Jim, who is the head of sales for Espas as well, to be able to, have this deal go through. But also to thank Dr. Jata. Dr. Jata and his team, in terms of the procurement, he was the head of procurement for the government. I want to thank them. Thank the Minister of Finance, all the ministers, and the Vice President, because there was a time when he had to intervene, really, because the time, as I said, the time was very short. So he had to intervene to make sure that he pushes all of us to make sure that we meet the deadline. So I want to thank him and thank the President finally, for his support for Gambian businesses. Mr. Choi, I always say that if we empower, these are the type of things you see, which really should send a signal to the government and to the public that we have to support our own. You remember when we had serious problems in transport, there were strikes all over. Transport fares were going up on a daily basis. What happened? We were able to supply buses, to really give to GTSC to solve the problem.
It was also pre-financed.
And it was pre-financed. They are still paying us those buses. It's pre-financed for the next 4 years. So we came out when nobody wanted to pre-finance it. We also had 7 or 8 bidders at the time. We came out and pre-financed it. We are just doing it again this time. So we are always trying to intervene in areas where really I feel that only Gambians will have the guts to intervene in it. So I want to call on the government, and the people to support Gambian businesses. When you support Gambian businesses, whatever they make will come back to you. And we have just seen that in this project again. We did not look at the money value. We did not look at anything. We just looked at the success of the OIC summit. And that's why the group decided that whatever it takes, we are going to bring these vehicles to the Gambia. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Chai, how many vehicles? Is it 100 or 89?
89.
So it is purchased